Hey friend, in today's video, I want to talk about the laser.
I'm here today.
And I'm going to start this off by saying this isn't something I ever had suggested to make a video on. I've just had a lot of people talk about it in the comments, so I figured I'd address my opinion on it. And lasers are very much a double-edged sword. And by that I mean they have some really good benefits, but at the same time they have some pretty devastating detriments. The one I have pointed out to me the most is that the dot appears on the wall wherever you're looking. That's true, but that's not really the reason why it's bad. A lot of times I'll have it on the wall and people will peek me because they see the laser and they think they know what they're doing. But usually 9 times out of 10, when I'm holding an angle, it's because I know someone's on the other side of that wall. And if they peek me and they miss their shot, I can easily hit it. And the laser, it doesn't make that much difference, but it did bait them into shooting me, which is kind of a disadvantage. But at the same time, it usually works out for me. The real detriment behind the laser is that when you're aiming down sights, it puts this red beam, this giant red light right by your head. And I play Jaeger a lot of times, and sometimes I'll run the laser on him. And his head's already big enough, so it's pretty easy to spot. So with the laser right next to it, that's the real reason it's kind of dangerous. But then there's the added hipfire bonus. The real reason it's good is that split-second time in between when your gun is in the full hipfire position and when you see someone and you start aiming down sights. That is all hipfire until the frame where your gun is completely scoped in. I've had it in numerous times where when I'm scoping in on somebody's head, I have the laser on there and it tightens that reticle, the hipfire reticle. And so when you're scoping in, one or two of those bullets will usually connect with them if you have the laser on there and you're not sprinting around like a madman. Because if you are, then your hipfire is going all over the place. It's like Counter-Strike in here. You don't do that. Yeah, that's why the laser is so good, is that split-second time. And I'm mostly referring to this on assault rifles. This is my philosophy behind running it on assault rifles. Do I think it's good enough to run them on assault rifles all the time? I would say it's situational. If you're trying to be sneaky and flank towards the end of the game with a suppressed character like, say, Twitch or maybe Jackal, then it might not be the best idea because the laser will honestly just give away your position more than anything else. So don't run it then. But if you're just holding angles and playing aggressive and peeking from windows and things like that, it's actually a pretty good idea to do that with an attacker. That's why I commonly run the laser on attackers. As for the defenders, if you're defending with the shotgun, then yes, 100% run a laser on that shotgun and that sidearm of yours because that's just bonus. You want that added hipfire because a lot of times with those shotguns, you have to hipfire, and that's totally okay because that's kind of what they're designed for. That's why their hipfire reticle is different. As for the SMGs already have some pretty decent hipfire. Really, it comes down to situational. If you're holding angles from inside the objective, sometimes when that attacker is peeking you, he doesn't always see you at first, and that split second, you can sometimes pull off an attack. So a lot of times with the thicker characters like Rook or Mira, I won't run lasers on them because I'm holding an angle the entire time. And when you're already aiming down sights, that's not very helpful. So it becomes situational. I've recently run lasers, and I find that it works out pretty well on attack. I'd go for it. But on defense, that's when you want to be a little bit more cautious with it. I think there's a little bit more give or take with the defense. I don't think there's a definite good or bad way to run it. Yeah, that's my stance on the defense. So attackers, yeah, I would run a laser on them. It's not as big of a deal because you're playing more aggressive, you're moving around more, you're rotating. But as for the defense, I'm not too sure. It comes down to personal preference. And me personally, I'll run a laser on most of my defenders like Smoke. I play him a lot. As for the conclusion of whether or not they're good, it's not as though they're completely unbalanced and everyone should run the laser because it makes your hip fire that much better. You should always be hip firing everyone. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's not like, oh yeah, it gives away your position and doesn't help you at all. That's not it either. I think it's in the middle of those two. And whether or not you bring it is pretty much up to preference because I think it's pretty well balanced. It gives you better opportunities to kill your enemies at the cost of a better opportunity for them to kill you. So I'd say it's pretty balanced. And yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. Leave a comment down below about Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment down below about your opinion on lasers. Let's just get all our opinions out there because we all have one. And leave a comment down below of what you would like me to make a guide on. I have some suggestions already about a beginner's guide, and I'm going to make an optic guide pretty soon. But if you have any other suggestions, I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.